All right, well, hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well. I want to go through here and show you all the um, character creation frontiers. We're going to go neonate. So then I choose my generation, and you can see I can be from 11th to 13th. Um, so we're going to go with 11 just because. Leave it at that. And over here, just so you can see, I can click that down arrow and it brings up the rules stuff for it. And I can click on the various highlighted text and it will bring up the rules for that or what that's all about. So, um, your generation modifier, so for neonates, that reduces the damage you take when you take Vitae damage. So, the higher tiers, like elders reduce damage by 3. It's almost like you get a natural soak to use V20 terms or older edition terms, or like you have just base kind of resistance to damage. And I like that. Um, it's one of the things I like. So, um, oh, did I get a heart? Oh, I must have got a heart. Thank you, whoever hearted me. I've got the stream up on my phone, but I'm not really looking at it all that much. Anyways, so we went neonate and we choose creature of the night. We chose our generation, so now we're going to pick our clan. And so when you hit pick your clan, it gives you a drop down menu, and that's where you actually choose your clan. And here's the choose your clan bit. Talks about it. Now, not all of these clans are available right now, but they are all talked about at least in this Nexus and in the PDFs you order or you get through Drive Through RPG. So you can see that Banu Hakim are in development, but you can see that they have Blood Sorcery right now. That may change. Celerity, Obfuscate, and it gives you a brief description of them. Bruja. Um, Now, if you want to, you can pull it over. I think they may not have that part in here yet. Oh, wait, there we go. There we go. So you can see their frenzy is rebellion, boiling passion, and you can click on these and it'll bring them up. Um, I guess I can just go over there like that. I haven't done a whole lot of the maneuvering, the maneuvers. So, anyways, we are going to, um, as I try to get back over there to the clan descriptions. Come on, clan descriptions, get over there. They don't have a clear bar here, which is an issue. Anyways, I'm going to choose my clan. And we are going to, let's see here, come on. Go all the way down to the bottom. Oops, choose my clan. There we go. All right, so the available clans to choose from: Bruja, Gangrel, La Sombra, Ministry, Nosferatu, Toreador, Ventru. Okay. Um, let's see. I really love Ministry and La Sombra. Seraphine is a minister in the canon of one of my other games. She is a she pushes people's boundaries. Which is kind of what ministers do. But let's try something different. Let's go Gangrel. So you select Gangrel, and there you go. And over here it shows there's Gangrel, and then you choose your sire. Now this is really cool. This is new. Choose your sire. So your sire, this is just like a category for them, and you can select this arrow and adopt it. If you were taught by another vampire who took you under their wing, your sire may have abandoned you, or may still be in your life and resent your blood with your your bond, with your adoptive sire. Whatever the case, you learned what you know about vampires and vampire societies from a member of another clan. So picking this sire gives you 1 dot and a discipline from your adopted sire's clan, which could be any discipline, doesn't matter. Then there is Brood Child. You were one among a brood of other newborn vampires. And those are my dogs in the background. You were raised in a brood of vampires, either created by the same sire or different ones. So this has a Sabbat feel to it. Like a mass embrace. You were thrown into a big mass grave and shoveled, and you have to dig your way out. And this may have been you. And you get 1 dot in a discipline from a brood mate's clan. So there's several different sires. Cruel, discipline and 1 dot of either dominate, fortitude, or obfuscate. Manipulative, secretive. Your sire was mysterious and secretive. You gain a dot in aspect, celerity, or obfuscate. Again, these aren't necessarily clan disciplines. They're just a discipline you get as the sire. Unknown sire. This is probably more caitiff or whatever. And we don't care about caitiff. And then vigilant sire, demanding and vigilant to your every move. Aspect, dominate, and fortitude. A really cool thing about this is that it helps you kind of flesh out an idea for your sire early on. Lots of times during play, like you're asked, oh, well, who's your sire? And people have to, it does, Doc Fortune's in my stream. It does make everything easy. There is some jank to it. Like I said, the you can't really see the bar down here to scroll across, but on this page you don't need it. But it does help you give you ideas for what your sire is like. So for us, we're gonna go with I don't know, not manipulative for sure. I think we're gonna go with gangrel with unknown sire. All right, and then I can come down to my unknown sire. There it is. I can hit it and remove it, pick something else. But the next step is bonus discipline. So I pick that. And there are my disciplines: celerity, fortitude, or potence, which I get from my sire. And maybe the next stream I'll go over disciplines one at a time, but because they've changed. But I'm gonna go with fortitude. All right. Now your life path. Now this is new. In any edition of World of Darkness, life paths are new. So your life path, I'll go ahead and break this down for you. A life path represents your experiences across the years. These might represent what you did before you were embraced, or how you interact with the mortal world as a vampire. As ageless beings, vampires can experience a variety of life paths, spending a few decades as a detective, vagabond, a politician, or even all three across a single century. So life paths, representatives of the past, typically represent who your character was, which can, but doesn't have to, inform who they are today. The character gained knowledge from these experiences, but is unlikely to still be fulfilling this role. You've been pulled into the hidden world of vampires. Even if they do still live out one of their life paths day to day, it's likely in a limited way or as a mask to better blend into mortal society. Vampire life paths can position a character still can be positions the character still holds, but more often they are roles held before the chronicle began. So life paths as competence as a at the storyteller's discretion when no other skill applies to a test, but your life path suggests you would be able to do something. You can get a 2 dice pool or gain a basic success on the task. That's really cool. So like if you don't have skills in, I don't know, expression, but your life path would open that up to you, or could be reasonably be thought of to like give you some type of expression skill, then you could gain a basic success because of your life path. So when you create your character, you choose 2 life paths that represent your early experiences. These represent the things you did and the roles you played before the chronicle began. Skills, you get 5 dots to distribute among your life path skills. If you already have a dot in that skill, add another one. Choose a focus. Focuses are like specialties, sort of. If one is not already provided, you gain a +1 bonus on any test with that skill in which focus is relevant. You gain a focus at 1, 3, and 5 dots in the skill. No skill can have more than 3 dots during character creation. If something causes a skill to gain more than 3 dots during character creation, spend the extra dot in another skill of your choice. Resources, you get 3 dots to distribute among your life path's resources. And we'll get to that in a little bit, because resources now is kind of a catch-all term. If you're a ghoul, you can choose any mortal life path. Duskborn, why would you want to play that? But, you know, people are crazy. You could choose only mortal or neonate life paths. Vampires can't choose a life path outside the tier of play. Your storyteller chooses. For example, an Insular vampire can't choose an elder vampire life path, but can choose a neonate or Insular life path. And young characters might have been embraced or made a ghoul while still young. So, anyways, let's get to it. Choose my life path. Here we go. We're going to close this a little bit. Pop. There we go. Oh, uh-oh. Go there. There we go. So we got technician. You work with practical tools, create, repair, and dismantle things. Criminal, politician, hunter, corporate executive, blood deliverer. And I can bring that down here, and it'll tell me which skills I get for this and what resources come with it. Physical assets, vehicle, wealth, social assets, all that jazz. I can grab Harpy, unless it says it is not a neonate life path. It does not. In fact, I don't think any of the vampire life path, maybe sheriff. Let's see. Nope. I don't think any of the vampire life paths right now have a restriction on their tier of play, at least not that I'm seeing on Demiplane. They may, in the book, there might be a chart, but generally Demiplane's really good at including everything. So for our gangrel, we're going to choose 2. We're going to choose, she's a neonate. She's been around for a little bit. She's not fresh out of the vampiric womb. We're going to, I don't like hunter. We're going to go with, definitely not harpy. Definitely not sheriff. But I like hound. So we're going to grab hound. And we're going to grab, and you'll see that hound gives us fighting, investigation, streetwise with a focus, shooting, subterfuge, survival with urban tracking as a focus, and then the resources and all that. So we're going to go with hound, and we are going to go with I like cleanup crew. That's a cool one. So maybe we'll go with cleanup crew. Well, let's give her a mortal one. How about that? Not 2 vampiric ones. Give her holy person. Maybe she was a person of faith before she was embraced for some reason by a gangrel. Yeah. Maybe a gangrel embraced her as a lesson. Or we could go military. Maybe she's a military person. She served her country. There we go. All right, so here's a hound, and then beneath hound are the skill dots I get for hound. So I'll click that, and I'll pick, you definitely want fighting, and I get 1 focus. So I'm going to say dirty fighting. And I can click the details, dogs barking, and it will tell me what the skill is. Fighting dirty, use every advantage. These are suggestions for focuses, okay? Investigation, yeah, absolutely. Give her 1 there. She's got the focus of streetwise, so we'll just keep that. That's cool. Shooting, she's got at least 1 in that, and she gets a focus. Oops, can't spell. Give her a rifle. Subterfuge, survival for sure. Urban tracking, I like that. And so I've got 1 more dot I can spend. Let's put it in fighting. There we go. Now my resource dots. So status, yeah, we'll give her status in the Camarilla. Repository, armory, or contact vampiric authority. I don't see her having an armory. I don't see her wearing armor much. So let's give her that. And give her 2 contacts in Vampiric Authority. She probably has a contact with the sheriff, or maybe even a more experienced hound. So now I go to military, click my dots, athletics, fighting, medicine, shooting, and survival. So you see they overlap. Um, so we're gonna go, and I have 5, so I'm gonna go athletics, and we're gonna say let's look at some details here: climbing, lifting, running, putting on makeup while you're up there in the trees, type of thing. Um, I think running. Do a lot of running in the military, right? Fighting. I give her another one in fighting, which would give her um, another focus, which is cool. Give her 1 in medicine. I like that. First aid is good. No more in shooting. She wasn't much of a shooter in the military. Definitely another one in survival. And that leaves us over here. We have 2 more points. Let's put it in fighting and get that second focus. Let's go with improvised weaponry. She's good at just grabbing something and beating the fuck out of you with it. Uh-oh. Slight pause to the stream. 1 moment. All right, we're back. No, I was muted. Yes, I was muted. Doc Fortune, thank you. My son called to talk to me for a second, and I didn't want to leave the stream, so I am back. So, real quick, let's go back up here. You can see where I put in athletics, fighting, medicine, shooting still, and survival. And then in my resource dots, I put one for repository weapon and ally, former comrades. So we can sort that out. Attributes and skills. All right, so I click this. Down here, I go to attributes. Don't worry about this number over here. If you're like, oh my god, I got 23 points, it just spreads out. They tally up what you're doing throughout the whole all the categories. So, um, attributes. For those of us who are old and played the older editions of Vampire, this will be familiar. 7, 5, 3 are your spreads. And you get 7 in your primary, 3 in your tertiary, 5 in your mental or your secondary. So our gangrel obviously is military and such. She's going to have 7 dots in her primary. So we're going to go, and you click the, don't click the dot, you click the plus. So we're going to go like this. And I think, let's see. Let's give her the strength of 4. She hits pretty hard for. She's well trained, so she hits pretty hard. Social, she gets 3. You start with 1, so she's gonna go 1, 2, 3, and her mental dots she gets 5. 2 there, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna give her resolve. Now, initiative is your wit. Your willpower is your composure and resolve. I think plus 5. And your vitae is your stamina plus 5, 10 plus your stamina, I think, and maybe 5. I'll show you at the end when it summarizes everything, because I don't have all the minutia of the derived stats yet memorized, but we're just starting this. All right, now remember I got all those skills up here for my life paths. I got 5 in each. Now I'm getting another 8 to just distribute however I like. So now you're going to see these other skills that are available, like awareness, craft, expression, knowledge. Knowledge covers everything knowledge. Occult, chemistry, history, law, linguistics. These are all focuses that you put. So you have the base skill and then you put your focus in, and that focus kind of helps you work out where your knowledge is. Persuasion, sabotage. Sabotage is new. It represents your ability to overcome and undo security measures, as well as your skill in the use of destructive methods to damage things. Burglary, explosives, hacking, security systems, anything like that. Shooting. Subterfuge has changed some as well. Subterfuge represents your ability to be an accomplished thief or con artist, involving not only remaining unseen and unheard, but also lying your way out of complicated situations. So subterfuge is your stealth. Okay, that's what you're going to roll if you're going to stealth or skulk or whatever you're doing. If you're going to pick a lock, could be subterfuge, could be craft, and then survival. So I got 8 points. So we are going to fill out some stuff here. I'm going to leave athletics where it is, but I like awareness. We're going to put awareness and some things for awareness, not empathy. She's not empathetic. We're going to put instinct, natural intuition about the environment, definitely. Instinct. Let's see what else we got. Do we want craft? For roleplay purposes and maybe for kind of general mechanic knowledge that she may have picked up in the military? Sure. Let's see. We're going to go with improvised. She's used to putting things together on the fly if she needs it. Uh-oh, spelled it wrong. So when you're not spelling correctly, cheat. There we go. All right. She doesn't have any expression. She didn't care about that. Investigation, we're going to bump her up to 2 in investigation. Now, over here in the skill dots, it keeps track of it for you. So there's that. Um, let's do another bit of investigation. Let's do gossip. I like that. She can sit in a place and listen to what's going on and pick up some info on her quarry. I got 3 points left. Let's go knowledge, and we're gonna go. Um, let's do knowledge law. In fact, let's make it. Whoa! There we go. Got 2 more points to go. First aid, persuasion. All right, let's put the last 2 in persuasion, and it be intimidation. All right, there you go. Now, I'm going to pick my clan traits. This is where it gets really cool. First, I'm going to distribute my clan disciplines. Dots, so we're going to go there. Remember what I said the other day. Animalism and protein have been folded into one. Gangrels automatically start with animalism, celerity, and fortitude. So I'm going to go animalism, 2 dots, and put 1 dot in celerity. Now I'm going to choose my powers. Click the powers. Now, here's what, remember the last time I did this, talked about how Demiplane should, or reorganize this section because, I've got, looks like they did. They did. So before, I think it didn't have this. It was just the description. I don't remember the discipline being here. That's 100% better. 100% better. Before it was just alphabetical list. No, nothing, none of the discipline stuff. That's great. Well done, Demiplane. Okay, so Animal Messenger, and then it tells me what I can do. And then I click this, and it shows me what it is. It's a 2 dot mental animalism power. And it's an action to activate it. Charisma, 2 willpower, move that. Distance is touch, and it lasts for a night. And then here's what it tells me I can do. This one is a maturing power. And once I have 2 or more dots in this discipline, I can use this power in new ways. So I can increase the duration to a week, and the message could be up to 5 minutes long, or I can increase it to a month, and the message could be 10 minutes long. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Aspect of the beast. This is a cool one. Invoke your beast to lend you its talents, partially assuming the traits. So it's first dot of animalism. It's 1 dot physical animalism. Okay. Cost of vitae. I invoke my beast to lend you its talents, partially assuming the abilities of an animal to help me with a task. I can gain the snout of a wolf to track, prey of a scent, the eyes of an owl. Sounds very much like Braveheart for those of us who are old. I get the eyes of an owl to see in the dark, the ears of a bat to hear far beyond your normal range, legs of a frog to jump farther, the tail of a cat to balance better. When I use the power, ... etc., etc. And the maturing part of this power is that once I have 2 or more dots, I can gain 2 aspects at once and 3 aspects at once. Now I'm going to show you something here. Remember, Animal Messenger is a 2 dot animalism power. I can select it and not pick the level 1 power because your powers aren't tied to your discipline dots anymore. If I don't see a level 1 power that I like, but I like the level 2 power, I can grab it because I already have the 2 dots in animalism. And I really, really, really like that. Especially coming out of 5th edition, there were some, like you had to take the level 1 power, and if you wanted another level 1 power, you had to burn your level 2 slot to do it. And I don't think anybody liked that. And you also had to get your level 1 power to get your level 2 power. That's not the way it is now. I can pick this level 2 power and not have to pick the level 1 power. However, I'm going to remove that because because I have 3 dots or 2 or 3 dots in animalism. I'm going to grab Aspect of the Beast. That's 1. Because I can Blood Surge it into the extra abilities. So then I can assume 2 animal aspects, or 3 if I want. Beast Shape. Commune with my beast and assume the form. This is a 3-dot animalism power, which I cannot select because I don't have 3 dots in it. But this lets you change forms. And here's your maturation. I can assume the form of an animal from half to 1/2, 1.5 times my size. So it basically increases or decreases the size of the critter you can become. And those are the dogs barking. Bestial Instincts, that's a really cool one. This kind of comes out of, there's some of this in V5 since the Beast. Also out of Requiem, if you played that out of the Chronicles of Darkness, all kindred could automatically just sense the beast of another vampire and know kind of its relative strength or whatever. But they say this can't help you find obfuscated vampires. So, there's that. That's kind of cool. What else we got? Blank, can't take that. Blurred, can't take that. Call of the Wild, I can call critters. Cat's Grace, that's always a good one. I don't fall over or trip myself or anything like that when I'm losing my balance. Feral Claws, you gotta have that as a gangrel. Now, for the duration of this power, your unarmed attacks with this transform inflict damage equal to my dots in strength. Okay? When you get at least 2 dots in it, you can Blood Surge it up and gain the baneful damage, which is horrible. But, she's got 3 or 4 dots in strength, so when she hits you with her claws, it's going to hurt. And remember, there's no health and blood anymore. If she hits you, she's just doing 4 vitae and damage. So she's hitting you pretty hard with these claws. Fighter's Alacrity. When you activate this power, you get 1 extra action this turn. I don't have that. Fortify. When you are the target of a melee attack, you can use this as a reaction. Activate this power, thickening your skin and hardening your muscles to block the attack. Make a power test against the difficulty instead of a standard defense. On a success, you take no damage. That's 1 success. 1 success, you take no damage. We are grabbing that. We got 1 more. Purification lets you resilient your body and mind, letting you escape. What? Bonds of lesser powers. So, cloud memory, things like that. You can shake that off. That's kind of cool. Rapid reflexes. I think we should get 1 celerity power. Makes you hard to target to pin down and help you avoid attacks. I gain one bonus to my dodge defense. When I use this power to make a power test against a difficulty of 0, the power lasts for a number of additional turns equal to the successes. And if I pump it up, I get more to my dodge. That is great. I love the maturation of your disciplines. It gives so much more oomph to those level 1 powers. Those 1-dot powers that were just at one time it helps a little bit. Now I can gain more power out of it, and it just stays relevant and useful. So we're going to grab Rapid Reflexes. That's all my disciplines, all right? And there they are listed right there. Clan traits. I know some of you are going, where's Earth Meld? Well, there it is right there. Safety of the Earth. It's a clan trait for gangrels, and gangrels, I think, are the only ones right now that have it. I wouldn't be surprised if Zamisi or maybe even Ravnos pick it up, but gangrels start with it as a neonate clan trait. So, the ones that are crossed out, I can't pick. Hiccup. I can't pick because they're insula traits. And Right now, they don't have elder traits, so you know they're coming, I'm sure. So we're absolutely going to grab. I get one, right? No, I get two. All right, so we're absolutely grabbing Safety of the Earth, and I can get Feral Whisper, so I can communicate with animals, or Enduring Beast, where animals gain some of my toughness, things like that. I don't want that. We're getting Feral Whispers. She'll use animals to chat with and find her prey. And, I can lower this and it tells me what I need to have it, and I can communicate with animals aren't immediately put off by my undead presence, things like that. All right, now merits. Let's see here. Now I can hide unmet prereqs, but I'm not doing that right now. So I could grab Bond Famulus, which is like an animal ghoul. That's pretty cool. I like that. What do I get? I get one. But remember, I just got two clan traits, four disciplines that can be pumped up for extra effect. So the fact that you only get one merit right now is fine. Um, Fleetness, you get a bonus to non-conflict dex test. That's cool. Extra limb or flexible limbs. That's kind of cool. Shouldn't have any much subterfuge, I don't think, that I. Friends in high places, hunger strength. You get the more hungrier you get, the stronger you get. Kind of hulkish thing. Intimidating presence. That might be cool. Prestigious desire, subdued hunger, tough skin. That must be an Ancilla. Let's see. Prerequisite generation modifier and what? 5 dots in stamina. Yeah, I don't have that. And Wrecker. That's for destroying objects. So what we're going to grab is we're going to grab the Bond. I think that's a great one. And I've never grabbed this, so gives me options for it. We can name it. We won't do that now, but you can name it. And here's your. I can elevate one animal ghoul into a unique familiar. Takes an hour and consumes 3 vitae, and I'm going to spend this time bonding with the animal. The animal I choose must already be a ghoul, and its NPC level must be no higher than your dots in animalism. So there you go. Next, humanity. Remember, last time I chatted with you, I said this was going to be the part that I think a lot of players will struggle with at first. So here I'm going to choose a nature. So here are the natures that are available right now. And if I pick one, I think she's going to be a Bravo. So this is a grab Bravo. As Bravo, you believe in the rule of the strong over the weak. You make sure you are the strongest in the room. You use your powers to push others around, and you have no qualms about it. If they want respect and a chance to act on their own, they must prove they are strong enough to stand against you. So indulging. You use your strength and powers to make others fear and obey you. You prey on the weak, teaching them the lessons you think they need. You challenge others to prove your strength and dominance over them. So when I'm doing these types of things, I'm indulging in my nature, and I could mark a point in my nature chart or stat. Now, when my nature blocks resources, I'll show you in the character sheet at the end, get filled, then I have an outburst, and I have to self-control to try to stop it. But you are the strongest one here, and you will make them obey, even if it means you have to beat them into submission. You can't use social or mental discipline powers, and you must use force to make others obey you, fear you, or bow to you. You gain dice bonus equal to your generation modifier. For us, it's 1 to test, to subjugate, attack, intimidate, or otherwise act aggressively against the strongest individual you could see. So it's kind of like ending up in prison and picking the biggest, baddest person and just punching them in the face. All other reactions suffer dice penalty equal to twice your generation modifier. So in our case, 2. Um, so here it is down here. The trigger, if your nature tracker's 5 boxes are filled. The difficulty to resist an outburst is 3 plus my generation modifier. So that's 4. That's the difficulty. So I would get my resolve plus composure together and then take 4 dice away and roll that. I only need 1 success, and then it marks off one of my boxes. But On a failure, I erase all of the marked boxes um, and suffer the effects of the outburst. And on a painful failure, the storyteller gains one drama in addition to everything else. So um, here are the consequences. While in an outburst, you succumb to the outburst effect. Okay. In addition, your position on the humanity scale slides one step in the mortal direction, and I'll show you that here at the end. Um, if acting in line with this outburst puts you and your coterie in a worse mess than what you're already in, you gain a quickening. So we are going to totally take Bravo because that makes complete sense for her. There we go. So Bravo, that's that. Now my resources. I got 5 points of those. So that's another reason why I said don't sweat your merits. All right. So these are the ones I got from my life path, but I could add one if I wanted to. If I could, if I needed, if I wanted to be, I want to have a haven somewhere. Add it. I could add a physical asset. Haven. Let's see. A small dirty apartment on the south side. There we go. Add that resource, and then there it is. So I've got 3 points to spend. One, it's a small dirty apartment, so just one. That's fine. And then we're going to go with contact in the military and give her some weapons. She's got a little store of weapons. All right, important items. This is a lot more flavor. I can add my weapons if I want. Like I can click this and add light, range, and distance, medium, and I can name it, rifle. Hit confirm, and there you go. I get 2. Let's go. What is this one? Add an important item. That doesn't have all the options. So let's go add another weapon. Light, melee, knife. There we go. Finishing touches. Whoop. Enter character details. This is where I would enter, the role-playing details, things like that. Enter flaws. Now, flaws aren't mechanical. They are purely for roleplay. For our purposes, we're not going to add any flaws. And there we go. So we're going to cancel flaws. Beep. Okay, we got all that. Character sheet. All right, here's the character sheet. This works great and looks great on the phone, and it looks great, this works great and looks great on your computer and on a tablet. On your phone, it's a little bit, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to move your phone around, like sideways and all that jazz to get it. And I'm lagging, I think, a little bit on the stream. Anyways, let me turn off my phone because. All right, so up here I can add quickening. There you go. See, I have 1 quickening. Here's my sheet. Here's everything underneath the skills. It's got what my focuses are. Over here is my rifle. Urban tracking. Here's my vitae. It is 13, and my willpower is 10. All right, here's your humanity. Okay. Now, the way this works is if I click and I fill all these up, and then I fail my resolve plus self-control roll, and I frenzy, or I have an outburst, all this goes away, and I move my humanity tracker 1 dot that way. Okay? Same with the animalistic side, the B side. For now, my humanity's in the middle. Every night I wake up, my both of them get a tick because I haven't indulged or fought off either of them. All right. And so we got action and disciplines right down here. It's got conditions. Um, it tells me my state of hunger um, and my humanity state. Over here are my disciplines, what they cost. If I wanted to roll them on here, I could click that, and then over here on the left it brings up the dice roller and select the number of dice below to equal to this test to remove them from the pool. So let's say the difficulty for the test was 3. So we'll move 3 dice and then roll. And that would have been a failure. Okay? So that's how the dice roller works. Um, same would be for if I wanted to do strength. Brings up everything over here. But if I wanted to roll, I could click that. There's my strength. I click the dot and my fighting, which is right here. I can click that. And if the difficulty is 3, or let's say the difficulty is 2, there you go. And I roll. And I got 2 successes. So that means I got at least 2 8s. So that's how the dice roller works. Works pretty well, pretty clean on this. Properties of the blood, activate 1 vitae. There you go. This tells me everything over here are my actions. So if I'm playing online, whether through Discord or Roll20, which all of this is linked to my Roll20 account. So if I run a Roll20 game of this, my players will have access to their sheet. And it'll roll onto Roll20. But this will tell me all of the conditions. And then here are my actions. Tussle, I love it. Social conflicts, all the actions in social conflicts, all of that. Diablerie, success. There you go. Willpower already max, generation 11 to 10, 10 XP. There you go. If I confirm Diablerie success. Anyways, that is pretty much it. On your phone, it's going to have a little box over here that has like 4 little squares in it. You click that to navigate these sections. Vitae, willpower, humanity, those will all be in the resource section. And here is your clan stuff, traits, life paths, all that jazz. On this, I can go to details. That's where that last section is going to be. Journal, if I wanted to keep up with the journal. So yeah, that's a character creation on Demiplane. Now, if you've never done it before, I highly suggest you do it on a PC or a tablet. Doing it on your phone for the first time, if you've never used Demiplane on your phone, can be a little frustrating, but it's doable. I can do it on my phone, no problem. But I've been playing around with Demiplane since Vampire was put on it, so it's doable. But it it can be frustrating. Tablet's great, PC's great, but that's it. Really quick, really simple. You just go through it. I also suggest, 100% suggest using Demiplane, but I also suggest printing out your sheet. So you have a sheet printed out. You could also export to PDF, but you got to have your pop-ups allowed. You can share it with a QR code, share it with a link, manage permissions of people who can see it. But I highly suggest printing this out so that you have a physical copy as well. in case, your phone craps out, your tablet, or whatever the hell you're using. Um, just in case, especially if you're playing tabletop. I keep my tablet, my phone charged throughout our tabletop games, and my laptop as well, because I keep all my notes and stuff on those. So I am going to be running a continuation of my Chicago by Night game this Saturday for my table, picking up another player, a friend of ours who couldn't play last week. So right now I'm working on building out my version of Chicago, making some changes to the V5 Chicago by Night book, pushing the story forward. My players have a domain in the South Side and South Shore, and that's really their domain really is just going to be the focus of the Chronicle, not the greater Chicago area until they're called to Elysiums and such. But that will be a different stream update. So again, I apologize for muting everything for a minute. Like I said, my son called, and I never like missing calls from him because if you're a parent, you get that. I love talking to my kids, so um, hopefully this stream helped you out, showed off what Demiplane has to offer. And let's see, let's look at that. Oh, I can adjust things here. Tab settings. I've never played with this bit. Preferences and rules. That didn't change anything. All right, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this stream, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Shoot me some questions, some comments in the comment section. Feel free to like and subscribe to the Fifth Generation um, channel, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.